Hi everyone, it's Meredith with Soul Navigation, your evolutionary astrologer, and today we are going to talk about November 30th's full moon in Gemini. And I wanted to talk specifically about this moon and how it is going to shape our environment and our world, and what is it going to usher in your life. I'm going to talk about it through all the signs, but I'm not going to do that conventionally. I'm just going to wrap into my story how this might affect the signs. And I want you to prepare yourself for this full moon, because this is one of the harder days of the year. And this is going to actually happen on November 30th, 2020, of course. And I've got this at 1:29 a.m. Pacific time. So when you wake up on the 30th, if you're living in the United States, you will wake up to this full moon. So before you put your feet on the ground, I want you to send a prayer to those in need and to the gods above for your health and your well-being. And I pray so much that my video helps you and helps ease you into the transition. Why am I talking about it so soon and so early, and especially while we're in this glorious new moon in Scorpio? And if you don't know about this glorious new moon in Scorpio, I really want you to go watch my November transits part 2 video, and it's at the very first part of that video. And if you are a super supporter, you got to go hopefully to my almost 2-hour live stream about this beautiful, gorgeous new moon in Scorpio that we're having on the 14th and the 15th, which is the day you're probably watching this. So it is coming up on us, and November 30th is a doozy. I love the new moon in Scorpio, and I think good things are going to come out of it, especially secrets will be told, and we will know the truth. But what I want to tell you about the 30th is this full moon is an eclipse. That means that the sun and the moon are sitting close enough to the nodal axis. And so we're going to see massive devastation. And we are also, I'm going to give you the remedies and how to heal from the devastation that we're going to feel on the 30th. And I want you to prepare for it. I want you to have it set inside yourself. Right. And I also wanted to tell you this in time for you to rearrange your affirmations and manifestations and your prayers on this new moon in Scorpio when you're probably watching this video, hopefully. And if you are watching this video when it came out live 9:30 a.m. on Sunday Pacific time, it's not too late to include into your prayers, your wishes, your hopes, and your dreams through your manifestation, new moon manifestation, to include some remedies for this full moon happening 2 weeks later that I'm going to talk about. And if you haven't seen my new moon ritual video, please go watch that. I teach you how to make your dreams and your goals and your hopes and wishes all come true underneath the power of the new moon. And this is the most powerful new moon of the year. On the 14th and 15th of November. Do you like my Scorpio mug? Let's go in a little bit deeper. So you know that full moons always bring endings, and we have begun an ending phase that's going to last for 2 weeks until December 14th. And so this full moon is on November 30th, once again at 1:29 a.m. Pacific time. So calculate when that is happening for you. By the time we get to November 30th, we are going to have the effect of that full moon until December 14th, when we have the new moon in Sag. And that'll be really interesting. On November 30th, we are in a giant ending cycle. And we'll look at what this means in more detail for us collectively and at the individual level. But just as the moon is in its full brightness, and the full illumination, and it's going to be gorgeous. I hope you get a clear night. It starts to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, day by day by day by day by day, until the light is completely hidden by the sun and the moon being in the exact same place together. And that happens on the 14th. So the nights get darker right now. And the nights get, like in Seattle, there's even very little light at all, even in the daytime. And there's a magic in the full moon. There's secrets inside the full moon. And right now, we are going to be able to see the truth, and the very ugly truth. And it will be revealed to us right around this time, that the truth is complex and complicated because it's in this Gemini sign, which is contradiction, complexity, and it's sort of the shell game, the hat trick shell game. And it's knowing the truth is going to cost us something, and it's going to be painful. The truth is probably also going to bring up a breakup, a divorce, a separation, and an ending in your personal life and in the collective, in the world at large. Something is leaving us. Truthfully, it is an end of an era, with Trump being, pushed aside as a one-term president, and a new president, President Biden, and Vice President Harris coming in. So for the United States, and I think for the world too, because that reverberated out into the world. In your life, this full moon, wherever it sits, it can represent an ending, a loss, a goodbye, a death and rebirth in your career, in your health, in your habits, in your addictions. If this full moon is happening on the first, in the first house, so if either the sun or the moon is in your first house, this is about an ending, a very personal ending in your identity. If it's in your second house, this could be a loss of money or a loss of self-worth at this time. If it's in your third house, you could have bought into fake news, or this could be you ending or having a loss around what you thought was the truth is not the truth. The fourth house, it could be a loss in your family. If this full moon sits in your fourth house, there could be a goodbye, a divorce, a separation with your family. Your fifth house, you could feel like you've lost your kids, or there's a goodbye with your kid. Maybe your kid is going and staying at the other parent's house, or maybe your child is changing their relationship with you in some way. You could also see, if this is in the fifth house, that there's a little bit of a loss of joy and spontaneous self-expression and happiness and glee. If it's in the sixth house, there's going to be an ending, a shift around your health and wellness, around your diet. Your relationship to food may change right now. You may want to cut something out, or lose the sugar, lose the wine, lose the fat. And you might also see that you could lose your job at this time, or not get the job promotion that you wanted. If it's in your seventh house, this could be a loss of a relationship, somebody who's really important to you, somebody who you love, or like true colors could be revealed, where you may have felt like somebody's truth or true colors shockingly surprised you, and you can no longer be friends with that person. If it's in the eighth house, this could be a loss, a goodbye, a sadness, an ending, a new chapter, a rebirth around your sexuality, your sexual relationship, your most intimate relationship, your will, your will or inheritance. You could experience such a hard goodbye or such a hard blow or loss that it feels like a death. You could also owe some taxes too, so make sure you're caught up on your taxes and that you're not getting, looked at. The ninth house, oh, there's a death of a belief system. It's like there could be a huge loss of faith right now, faith in the world. You could feel really devastated by your belief system, or feel like your beliefs have been betrayed in some way, or the truth just cannot be found. Or you might even see that there's been just an enormous liar in your life. The ninth house is about truth. And I'm going to show you the chart in a minute. The 10th house, if you have this in your 10th house, it could be a setback in your career or in your place in the community or society. You might feel like you have to leave a job, leave a career, leave an organization in which you have a leadership role, or that you just no longer want to lead, And if it's in the 11th house, you could be letting go of a friendship circle or a group or organization, or you could stop wanting to learn about something, or stop wanting to continue your work with a nonprofit organization, or wherever you lend your higher octave service to. And if it's in the 12th house, you might just feel an utter sense of hopelessness, sadness. I pray that you don't have to go to the hospital. But this can be quarantined or hospitalization if you have this full moon in Gemini, or even in Sag in the 12th house. You also might just be so freaking exhausted that you just need to recharge your batteries. So leave me a comment below and let me know if you can relate to this. Let me know where this falls in your chart. And I'm so excited to give you more info on this because it's pretty deep, and I can't wait for you to see the chart. So what does the Gemini full moon focus on? What does it bring in? What does it usher into our lives? Well, the Gemini moon has a goal, and when it's not in crisis and when it's really healthy. And so when the Gemini full moon sits in harmony in your chart, it wants to have this open-minded perspective. It wants to have like no limits or boundaries. It wants to understand the depths of its feelings, and it wants to talk about them. It wants to understand itself, its feelings intellectually. It wants to understand the data and psychology of the heart, if you will. And it has a love to analyze data, to be a statistician, to read the stats, and to make sure that everything always adds up. That's what the Gemini moon wants to do. So if you have a Gemini moon, that's what your heart loves doing. And it wants to like satiate itself in giant curiosity, and it has a restlessness feeling to it, and it thrives on anxiety, and it is very, very outgoing. It's like popcorn. It's interesting. It loves facts. It loves fiction. It loves sorting through it all and just understanding all of the complexities and putting it together in its mosaic. So this full moon is going to bring surprises, and it's also going to be a bit like shocking or on our nerves or unpredictable. It's going to usher in huge drama, and it needs gobs and gobs and gobs and gobs of stimulation. So it just has to be constantly and chronically stimulated. So if you feel this restlessness to like learn and dig and get the truth and do the details and see the data, and yeah, that's the Gemini moon. It can be frenetic and neurotic. It has a deep need for like refreshing communication and new experiences and learning the facts, the data, and doing the research. And so right now you're going to see that people want the bottom line. People want to get to the truth. People want to sort through the data, the BS, the fake news, and they want just the facts, ma'am. There's a detachment with this Gemini moon, and it's an air moon. And so it processes its emotions through the intellect. It doesn't process its emotions just through the heart. So let's look at the chart. It's very interesting, and you need to look at where you have 8 degrees Gemini and Sagittarius in your chart. So I've got my chart right here, just a little miniature one, so I can look at it while I talk to you. And so this new moon, the sun is at 8 degrees Sagittarius and the moon is at 8 degrees Gemini. That's what makes it a full moon. And so they're in exact opposition with one another. But it's close enough to the nodal axis. The node is at 19, the south node 19 Sagittarius on the sun, and the north node at 19 Gemini on the moon. That's what makes this an eclipse, and it's an enormous, enormous, enormous eclipse. And eclipses make everything that I'm going to tell you on steroids, just enormous, just larger than life, and it's going to have a destiny quality. I am going to talk to you about the destiny aspect of this full moon. First, I have to say one thing. Do you see this Christmas crystal? We are giving this away today. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing it for the very last time until one of you gets to win it. Look at this. It's filled with the intention of generosity. And today, later today, we're going to announce who the winner is. So if you want to win this gorgeous Aura Quartz crystal, it is designed exclusively for soul navigation by the amazing and illustrious Dawn Wonder. Just write www.dawnwonder.com and then go check out her website and look at all of her jewelry. Just write dawnwonder.com and your name will be put into the hat, and we are going to pick our winner today. Can you believe that? I know, it's exciting. I had to tell you. Also, I wanted to ask you, are you a subscriber? Thank you so much if you are. I love you. And I want you to go read in the notes section all the dates for my live streams for my subscribers. Woo, woo. It's going to be super fun. We have one coming up not that far away. Oh, I think it's on November 20th. And be there, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Just come to my channel on November 20th. We're going to talk a little bit more in depth about what this new moon, what this full moon means exactly for you. It's going to be fantastic. And if you're not a subscriber, please become one, because I'm looking to meet my next goal of 40,000 subscribers. Okay, let's go back into this. You can see that the chart is 29 degrees Virgo rising. I'm going to tell you right now, you guys all know me, and that is on the axis of me, the first house, and you, the seventh house. And it's 29 degrees Virgo and 29 degrees Pisces. I am telling you, on the 30th of November, we are going to step into a deep crisis. It's going to be very, very deep, because it's on the axis of me and you. And so that's everybody, right? If I say me and you, that's me and everybody else. So it's everybody, it's the collective. And it's in its crisis degree of health and wellness, Virgo, taking care of the body, and Pisces, the oneness of all of humanity. We're going to talk a lot about this. This is going to be a little bit of a long video, so stick with me, because I'm going to talk to you about the asteroid series, and it's really important, and I want you to study Ceres in your chart, C-E-R-E-S. Let's keep going. So you can see that the full moon lunar eclipse is at 8 degrees Gemini, and it's going to be about communication and news and hearing and listening. And it's going to be what you hear and what you say. And so starting on November 30th until December 14th, it's just going to get dark. Again, we're in an end phase right now, and we're starting it right now. But this is what is very interesting. It's going to take until exactly July 13th, 2021 to move through this entire phase, to come through this whole cycle. So I think this is COVID. And I feel like around mid-year next year, we're going to see that enough people have taken the vaccine, that we're really managing life on a new level. But this cycle is going to end the ending cycle that we're in right now goes until July 13th, 2021. I do think that we're going to make headway. I do believe we're going to get a vaccine right when Saturn goes into Aquarius, and that's going to be just before Christmas. And then I think we're going to have some really tough days in January, and we're going to have some really tough days in February. By March, we turn a corner, and I feel by July 13th, 2021, we're going to have moved through a sort of completion. Now, the reason why is very interesting. You've got to pay attention to the nodes, and I might need to do a whole video on the nodes, but the nodes are going to move to, and this is on July 13th, 2021. The nodes are going to move. Let me show you with the chart. They're going to move to 8 degrees Sag and 8 degrees Gemini, right where this full moon, dramatic and chaotic, ushering our death rites, if you will. I'm going to go into that in a minute. The nodal axis is going to shift to 8 degrees Gemini Sagittarius on July 13th of next year. And that's when we're going to really get out of this end phase and move into the next chapter. It's a healing chapter. It's when we can really start to see massive healing. Maybe, I don't want to say we are healed, but we are healing well. We're doing better. Take note, on November 12th, did you see my last 2 November transit videos? I pray that you've seen them both. If not, please go watch November transits part 1 and part 2, even if it's in hindsight, because I want you to take note. So on November 12th, when Pluto conjuncted Jupiter exact, I had predicted, and I'd love for you to see it. I'm going to see if I can put that little piece of video clip in here right here in a minute. But I predicted that we were going to see a rise in COVID cases. And on November 12th, I mean, El Paso was having makeshift morgues, and the whole world is considering basically doing another version of a different kind of lockdown. And we've seen numbers just skyrocketed. I would love for you to listen to it. Right here, this was my prediction. And by the way, I did this video on Halloween, which was October 31st, speaking about November 12th. But this particular conjunction happened on April 4th. The second was on June 20th. And now the third is on November 12th, November 13th, depending on where you live. And you might see more deaths. You might see COVID expanding. You might see more lockdowns, government control, government suppression and oppression. You might see that there's a death of a belief system or death of a philosophical belief system. You might see Jupiter is expansiveness, but it is also our morals, our ethics, it's law, and Pluto is death and transformation. Okay, so I just wanted to share that with you, and I wanted you to see that astrology just doesn't lie. I mean, it's just amazing. It's amazing. I also had predicted on October 1st, I predicted it on September 24th, that you were going to see a massive, massive rise in COVID cases in October. And especially if you were going to get COVID, you were probably going to get it on October 1st or 2nd. And that's when Donald Trump got COVID. I about died. I was just like, oh my God. Sometimes my astrology gives even me chills. Please leave me a comment below if you have found astrology to be helpful for you and a good indicative of timing in your life. It's really fascinating to me. But what is this moon going to bring in, this Gemini full moon? It's going to bring in drama and dramatic endings. Again, Gemini is the mind, it is the brain, it is the perception that you hold, it is your communications, it is your intelligence, it is logical, and it is strategic. Sagittarius is the bigger picture. It is our philosophical belief system and our values, what you will stand up for or take a knee for. What would you take a knee for? And what would you stand up for? That's your value system. When a man gets down on his knee, he's paying respect and homage to. So what would you take a knee for? That's your value system. That's Sagittarius. It's a belief system. It doesn't necessarily calculate, like the national anthem here. It doesn't necessarily strategically calculate, okay, what are the ramifications if I do this? No, it just does. It's Sagittarius. So we are having an ending of some optimism, and our faith is trying to be obliterated. Our value and values are being questioned, and maybe we're even losing a sense of value. Sagittarius is that big vision that we have for ourselves, and it doesn't think all the things through. And we need to be able to detach right now and look at things from a much bigger view, from 10,000 feet above, the bird's eye view. We are being asked to have a global vision, to have a global view, a bigger view, a multicultural view, a diverse view, to embrace diversity, to live expansively with abundance for all, to believe that love multiplies, it does not divide, like a good Sagittarius will live. We need to emulate the high side of Sagittarius right now. We need to believe in multiculturalism, and we are going to see diversity like we've never seen it before, meaning we are going to highlight and showcase diversity, which we should, because that's the real world. We need to expand our minds, our belief systems, our philosophy. We maybe even we're being challenged to study a new philosophy in order to grow right now. And we are asked to educate ourselves with the facts, and educate ourselves, get higher education, get smarter, wiser, and brighter, right? The sun is your identity, and it's a very, very dramatic time when it is in Sagittarius. If you know a Sagittarius that's not dramatic, I'll tell you right now, they either have Saturn prominently in their chart, or they have a ton of Capricorn or Scorpio in their chart. Sagittarius is bookend by stoic Capricorn and stoic Sagittarius. So if you meet a shyer, reserved, or non-dramatic Sagittarius, they probably have Capricorn and Scorpio in their chart. But this is the time when your identity is in conflict with your mind. And this is a time when you are going to see conflict in the world and feel it in your own life. And I told you those arenas, but it's also going to usher in some pain. And that's because of the relationship between the nodal axis, which is right next to the sun and the moon, and the asteroid Ceres. Yeah. So I have to ask you, are you a super supporter? If you're not a super supporter, consider being one. We have so much fun. I have 135 super supporters now, and it is the coolest group. If you want to learn more and go deep and see my secret videos and get on the super supporter live feeds and get your natal chart, your gorgeous natal chart, and your deep dive natal report and your horoscope for your chart customized for the whole year, you get that for 25 cents a day as a super supporter. And if you are a super supporter, please leave me a note below, because I love you. Thank you so much. I am just so moved by the group. It's such beautiful, beautiful, beautiful souls. So cheers to you. So we have to talk about Ceres, okay? This is what Ceres looks like right here on the chart. Let's take a peek at it. And it's at 3 degrees Pisces, okay? So Ceres is doing two things. We call it a T-square because it's in square. It is the apex. It is the center. It is the nucleus of a square to the moon and a square to the sun. It is also in a very wide square to the nodal axis. It's very wide, but I'm still counting it because it's going to be squaring it, squaring the nodal axis, applying square, which means it's going to be gaining more and more and more and more and more energy, and it's going to be in this ramp up. So I'm going to include it because it does pertain to us here in the future months too, going forward. So it's in an applying square, between now and January 23rd, 2021. And we are going to see what I'm about to tell you between those dates. So brace yourself, hold on, don't get weary, stick with me, stay with me. You don't want to miss this part. And if you don't know about Ceres, you get to learn how critical and how important Ceres is. And where you have Ceres in your chart really, really matters. So if you want to know about Ceres, and you don't know where Ceres is, you can go to soulnavigation.com, hit the shop tab, go to my astrology reports, and purchase for $19 or something like that my report on the asteroids. It's called the Asteroids Report. Ceres is an asteroid. It's one of the 4 most important asteroids. And it's so significant and so profound that I treat it like another planet. I mean, it's important. And that report is so brilliant. It's super, super long. It is so worth it. Go get it, go get it, go get it, go get it. You will love it. And it will tell you about all of the asteroids in relationship to your planets, your other planets in the chart. So we have to talk about Ceres because, as you can see, it is in the apex of the square to Gemini and Sagittarius, mostly to the sun and the moon right now, but between now and the 23rd of January, it's going to be the apex and square to the nodal axis. When it hits the nodal axis, it means every person on the planet. So what is Ceres? What is the asteroid Ceres? Ceres is the Earth Mother, the universal mother in your chart. It is the love and the nurturance and the unconditional love from mother to child. And it is that unbreakable bond until that bond must be broken, because for any child to become their own individuated self, they have to separate from mother at some point in time. And for some people, this is extraordinarily painful. And for others, this is quite easy to do. So where is Ceres in your chart? You must know. You'll get to know that if you buy the asteroid report, but you can also go look it up in an ephemeris if you want, or go online to Astrodienst or something and do your chart, and you can put Ceres in. Ceres moves pretty quickly, so it travels pretty fast through the zodiac. Ceres is both abundant love, like a mother's love, and also the heartbreak with the loss of a child when the child leaves the home and gets married and goes off, and heartbreak when the mother leaves the child through death or separation. And Ceres is the goddess of agriculture and fertility, and she personifies nurturance and sustenance. So when a baby's first born, its first experience of love is through the nurturance of the food, the breast milk from the mother. And the baby soon learns that food is sustenance, food is love, food is safety, food is security. And it comes to learn that when it cries, it's worth that security, that nurturance, that love, that breast. And so it cries and it's nurtured usually. But what happens when it's not? That is painful. Do you have hard aspects to Ceres in your own chart? Well, this aspect that we have, Ceres in square to the nodal axis coming up any moment now, and to the sun and the moon full, because Pisces is square to Sag and Pisces is square to Gemini, is painful. And it's like the nurturing mother is not so nurturing right now. So Ceres represents caring for others, taking care of other people, like a mother takes care of. Ceres is about unconditional love and unconditional acceptance. It represents, when it goes wrong, feeling a lack of emotional security, a lack of love. It feels like I'm not worth love, and it's hard to feel emotionally fulfilled. And there can be this deep longing to just have love in your life, when Ceres is in hard aspect, as it is here now. And you may also see that you feel neglected, or you have to neglect your own self to take care of your family needs. You have to neglect your own personal needs to take care of other people's needs. And you may see anxiety come up with separation and a fear of rejection, or just flat out rejection, or feeling so alone right now. Ceres is about attachment and separations. And I want to tell you something very deep about Ceres. Ceres prepares us for the ultimate separation, which is death. I don't believe in the word death. The soul lives eternally, but the death of this flesh. And Ceres prepares us from birth that one day we will also pass back into the space and place where we came from. So it is death, but it is death because it's preparing us for rebirth. So it's birth and rebirth, okay? I don't believe in the word death, but it is birth and rebirth. But there's that little death of the body. Ceres represents the rites of death, R-I-T-E-S. And your world will be set up with miniature and sometimes not so miniature deaths, many losses, many divorces, little goodbyes, little losses, big divorces, little divorces, breaks and fractures. And the pain that goes along with those losses is Ceres. It's like when there is no more milk in the breast. The baby feels unworthy, unloved, and separated from. So we're going through this right now. Ceres is going to force us starting November 30th and even earlier, 10 days earlier, and all the way until the new moon in Sagittarius on December 14th. But she forces us to face death squarely. And she forces us to look at death, understand death, see death, and hopefully come to peace. That's one of the hardest and most painful processes I've ever had to go through. And I've had to go through that numerous times. I mean, I've had so many people die. And the process of their death has been just gut-wrenchingly hard. What's actually happening, if you can remember it, is the beginning of the rebirth, which we are going to see come alive in March. We're going to be hopeful in January. We're going to see it come alive, the rebirth of our nation, of our world, of our health in March. And then July 13th, I think we're going to really see the process of this rebirth. Wherever Ceres is, that's where you are the universal mother. That's where you attach so deeply. And that's also where you've had losses in miniature, goodbyes and divorces. And you can learn all about Ceres and how it functions in your chart, whether it's in a healthy place or not, with my asteroids report. You'll love it. When Ceres goes wrong, as it is in this chart because it's square, when Ceres is in crisis, basically, it can bring in some of the most gut-wrenching pain, like Plutonian kind of pain. It can be so heartbreaking and so destructive that I want you to prepare yourselves to be a vessel of love. And I'm going to tell you how to remedy this in just a moment, but I want to prepare you for this. So Ceres was known by ancient Greeks as Demeter. And Ceres was the daughter of very strict and the timekeeper Saturn, the god of karma, right? And Ceres' brother was Jupiter. And Jupiter ultimately saved her after she was eaten and devoured by her father, Saturn. It's an interesting story. I love the mythology because it tells you It tells you the deepest part of how these planets and signs came to life. Let's go into this. It's in harsh, hard aspect series. And so at this time, you're going to see the world at large look or feel feeble, look malnourished, looked forgotten, not safe, not secure, not feeling love and unconditional admiration. You're going to see that the world at large collectively feels disconnected to those who are supposed to take care of them. You're going to see people so alone. And this might sound funny, but it's true. Because Ceres is agriculture and unconditional love. So like the little baby that I told you about, we can develop eating disorders, too much food, or starving ourselves because we don't feel worthy of the sustenance and the nurturance, especially if we had a very hard relationship with mother. But right now, you will see that much of the world is not safe and does not feel safe, feels overlooked, unloved, ousted, and separated, alone and isolated, detached from food, sustenance, unconditional love, and nurturance. And so when Ceres is in Pisces, as it is here, it's asking us to find a way through this enormous crisis, this enormously hard time, to learn again or remember to unconditionally love others, to love others like Pisces loves or does, to be a guardian angel out there, to help others through empathy and compassion and acceptance, from having a broad open mind like Gemini without judgment. Geminis are the least judgmental of the entire zodiac, even more so than Aquarius, because they're mutable. And then I would say Pisces. But right now we need to tend to those who are weary, those who are weak. That could be COVID patients. That could be homeless. That could be your three-legged dog. That could be your cat that has kidney failure. That could be your elderly grandparent or parent, right? Who is feeble in your life. And when we help others beyond our own selves, that is how we remedy this for ourselves and for others. When we accept the underdog, when we see beyond ourselves to help humanity, and when we come from selflessness, selfless service heals. With Ceres in the 5th house, we're going to see the negative impact that Ceres has on children. And we need to desperately invest in the young people in our lives. If you have a young person, a niece, a nephew, a grandchild, a son, a daughter, nurture them. They need it. They are being overlooked. Can you imagine all these crazy adults making decisions and you're a little kid and you can see through the BS, and yet you're not allowed to vote. You're not allowed to talk about it. I mean, you can talk about it, but it's hard to get someone to listen, right? So this square, this T-square series to the sun and the moon and the nodal axis, I should say, is truly and truthfully humanity's cry for help. It is the collective, it is humanity all across the board, all across the world, saying, see me, help me, feel me, feed me, love me, cry with me, take care of me, nurture me. It's sad that so many people out there feel that and feel so alone in their pain and their suffering. The solution that alleviates this pain and this suffering in others that will actually help you heal your own life is by generously sharing your unconditional acceptance and love for people who are nothing like you. So if you're on one side of the spectrum, love the person who's on the opposite side. See them in their fear, see them in their weaknesses, see them in their feeble minds, see them in their small-mindedness, and loan your light and your love and your hug with a mask on to them. Let them know you care about them. That's the only way we're going to heal, to accept the opposite. The full moon, Sagittarius, Gemini, is in opposition to one another. We have to embrace the opposite. Do not be intolerant of intolerance. Love it away. Melt it. Love will melt the intolerance. Love thy enemy. So, Ceres squaring the moon tells us right now that we're losing this deep emotional connection. We are losing sort of our feeling of emotional fulfillment, and we're feeling alone and a little bit sad, and it's chaotic. We don't even necessarily know why. So I want you to just know that that's coming up, and prepare your life in a way that creates creature comforts, that creates happiness and joy, so you don't sink into the depression. We also need to hang around, talk to, listen to people who have mutually loving bonds with you right now. So remember how I said love the opposite, love your enemy? Yes, that's true. Send them love and interact with them to the degree that it is healthy. But in truth, we also need to seek out relationships that are mutually connected. So they put in as much as you put in. Both people care. So it becomes rewarding, exciting, fulfilling, and it feels like harmony and peace. So Ceres in a square to the sun, we can feel like we have to take care of others. We have to loan our light and loan our energy to others. And there can be deep, deep self-sacrifice that you become resentful of because you had to caretake someone else and loan your energy, your light source to another person. But we also might feel like there's a lack of intimacy, and we might feel a lack of self-worth, and we might have low self-esteem right now. And do not take a risk right now at this time. Oh my God, lay low. This is not a time to start a new project, a new beginning. No, 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 no. Wait till the new moon in Sag. You've got to do anything and everything that can create a positive sense of self-worth right now. And you do that by stepping into the things that bring you joy, love, euphoria, glee, happiness. And you do that with people who mutually love you. And then you put yourself in service to those who need you. Your unconditional acceptance, your unconditional love, and your unconditional, or I should say, your non-judgment. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I told you this, but thinking about this, you can manifest peace, love, money, prosperity, or abundance with my Aura Quartz crystal necklaces. We're giving this one away. I already told you about that. But this week, we are putting all of the Aura Quartz crystal necklaces on sale by $40. I just want you guys to have them, and they make the most amazing, amazing gifts. I meant to tell you that. So these just radiate with positive energy, and there's one for joy, glee, euphoria, and happiness. That's the yellow one. You will love it. The blue one is for wanting to attract a miracle to your life. Anyways, go check them all out on my shop tab on Soul Navigation, and each one is going to be $40 off. So they're only $129, but go check them all out. You're going to love them. The designer, Dawn Wonder, she's amazing. She designed my whole Soul Navigation Aura Quartz crystal intention line. So they're manifestation crystals, and they are breathtaking. They make great Christmas gifts. So we wanted to put them on sale so everybody could afford one for a special person for Christmas. But I want you to know right now, and this is what brought up the crystals, because they do offer protection and the capacity to manifest new results. I'm always wearing one. But you're going to see the outside world is standing in two things at this time: chaos and crisis. You're going to see disaster or devastation around you. I think our COVID cases are going to go up. And you might see that there's a disaster relief program in place, or you're going to see people desperate for food, shelter, and basically mother's love. Mother's love that they need or didn't get. This is happening in the third house and in the ninth house. You can see that Sag is in the third house and Gemini is in the ninth house, which is funny because Sag is in Gemini's house, the third house, and Gemini is in Sagittarius's ninth house. So they are in inversions of each other, which just brings so much crazy energy. It's like if you're wearing pants, they're inside out. They're not wrong, they're just inside out. So it's highly awkward, and they don't like that house at all. That's their opposite's house. So it's like, I don't know, if you're a cactus and you've been transplanted or replanted to the northern Arctic, right? Hard to survive, harsh environment right now. With the nodal axis there too, this universal love, this universal nurturance for all people, this like kind and caring world is being blocked by two things. And that's Ceres, or you could say the energy is being blocked because of the opposition. But one is Gemini and one is Sag. These two things are Gemini and Sag. And it's just sort of crazy making. So what do Gemini and Sagittarius both do when they're dysfunctional? What do the dysfunctional sides of Gemini and both do? Do you have a guess? Put it down below. Put it down below. Just shout it out. What do they both do? Just write your words down there. I want you to try to answer this question. I'm stalling right now because I want to see if you can correlate these two opposite signs with doing something together, like how they both, when they are not well developed, when they are in their lowest form, what kind of negative trait do they both take on? Well, they talk a lot. Both of them talk a ton. Did anybody guess that? Leave me a comment. Leave me a comment below. But we have Gemini in its lowest form as the trickster, right? And we have Sagittarius in its lowest form as the exaggerator, like exaggerating to the point of narcissism or bombastic, self-righteous exaggeration. Sorry, I'm going off on that one. I happen to know that one really well. And both can do one thing very easily. Do you know what that is other than talk? I hope I get some people guessing. They both can easily lie. When they are under very stressful aspects, they lie. Both of them. One does it through color and exaggeration and storytelling, and the other does it by kind of being two-faced, so playing both sides. You are going to see on November 30th a ridiculous amount of fake facts, fake news, fake BS, braggadocious, bombastic, exaggerated drama, and you may see on the 30th, poof, the truth about it. And if it's not on the 30th, it's very, very soon around that time. The truth will be revealed in the illumination of the full moon. And this truth will be painful for so many people to see. It will create pain. So you're going to see with Ceres in hard aspect. Ceres prepares us for birth and the unconditional love of life and mother, and death. It prepares us for death. It prepares us every day for death. And so you're going to see even more deaths on this day. And you're going to see probably a truth about those deaths. Like maybe those deaths could have been prevented. So let's look at this Aries Chiron. It's trine the Sagittarius sun and it is in sextile. Both are harmonious aspects to the moon. So this is our bright light. This is our silver lining. There is healing. There is an opportunity to know and create quality healing through communication. Communication to heal our beliefs, our mind, our anxiety, our truths, our values, and to heal our faith in self. It comes through the vehicle of talking and listening. It comes through a Gemini vehicle. Chiron is the wounded healer. And so with it in harmonious aspect to this sun and moon and the nodal axis soon, you know, next year we're going to get Chiron trine the nodal axis. But right now it's in trine and sextile to the sun and the moon. I'm sorry, I should say next year we are going to get Chiron to be trine exact and sextile to the nodal axis. So there will be healing in 2021 at a massive level. Massive level. I know that this is going to affect the collective in a really critical and hard way. Now, talking about you specifically, and that's because it's going to hit the nodal axis, and so that means everyone. If you are born on the first 10 days of Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces, this is going to be an especially hard time for you. And the first 10 days. So usually the signs change around the 20th, if you're a Pisces, around the 21st, okay, 20th, 21st, sometimes the 22nd. That's very rare. But if you're born in the first 10 days, starting, you know, on the first day of that sign change. So it's not like December 1st through the 10th, right? You have to go to what day does Scorpio turn into Sagittarius? I think it's the 21st. So the first 10 days of Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, or Pisces, I want you to take very good care of yourself, nurture yourself, give to others who are feeble, weak, and need assistance. Be a guardian angel, because that's how you also heal yourself. But I want you to have mutual relationships where there's love and joy. I think this aspect is a little bit better. I mean, it's not perfect. It's a very hard full moon, really, for everyone, because it is an eclipse. It is going to change the course of our destiny. It is going to change our lives collectively and individually for forever, for our whole life. I mean, we're really jumping the train track with this, and we're ushering in a whole new chapter. Probably to cherish life, to learn how to cherish life, and to propel us into the fifth dimension, as I have mentioned. If you guys haven't seen my 2020 playlist, oh my gosh, start at the beginning and go all the way through. I think I start in December and watch the whole entire playlist. It is just absolutely amazing. It's an astrological documentary, basically. But I think that Libras, Leos, Aquarians, and Tauruses will be able to manage this time a little bit more easily. Tauruses might struggle if Uranus is on your sun. And again, it's not simple. I mean, Libras are getting hit by the opposition of Mars. And Mars is direct now. Yay! So we can feel like we can at least tackle the problems that face us. But so that leaves Aquarians, and they're doing pretty well right now, and Leos. So I mean, it is a tough aspect for everyone. Cancer and Scorpio also manage this really well. And in truth, while it's not easy for anyone, I think Cancer and Scorpio can really make something magical with this aspect. Cancer is struggling because it's in opposition to all the Capricorn. So that kind of basically leaves me down to Scorpio. So Scorpio and Leo kind of get a boost right now in some ways. But
Look at me, just laid back, casual, and relaxed. I got a new chair and I'm loving it. It has saved me because I'm doing readings all day long.
Oh my gosh, have you met anybody from Team Soul Navigation? You guys have to meet my Team Soul Navigation. They're amazing, amazing, amazing. Go check the notes below and you can see my website, soulnavigation.com, or just go over there directly and go check out my whole team. They are amazing. And if you want to know, where these aspects fall in your chart, and you just want to learn how to read your chart, I have so many incredible astrologers on there. Just, you'll look at their skill set, book with one of them, and they can take you through your natal chart and really, really help you. I hope I didn't scare you. Leave me a comment below. You just have no idea how much I love reading your comments. I can't always answer every single one of them, but I do they mean the world to me, and I do try. And I just really love this channel. I love the people that come, and I want to give you guys my dates, okay? So November 20th, please come to my live stream right here, 2 p.m. Pacific time. It's for everybody. And then I'm going to mark these down, okay? December 11th is also for all my subscribers. So please, please subscribe, ring the little bell so you'll get a notification when I start. December 18th is for my super supporters. Come be a super supporter and you can get on that members live stream, and it's just more intimate so you can really ask deeper questions. January 1st, woohoo, New Year's Day is for everybody. Mark your calendar. Come join at 2 p.m. For super supporters, those live streams are at 4 p.m. And for my subscribers, they're at 2 p.m. January 15th for super supporters, whoop, 4 p.m. And February 5th for everybody, 2 p.m. This is all Pacific time. Hopefully you know I live in Seattle, Washington area, so this is Pacific time. And February 19th for super supporters, 4 p.m. We're going to need each other. We really are. And also let me know in the comments if you miss my happy hours. I might do another one, but nobody's said anything, so I haven't booked one. I thought I'd do my live streams instead and put my energy into that. But let me know if you missed the happy hours. I would love to know. And this was a little bit long, but I hope you liked it. And I really want you to get your asteroid chart. It is absolutely out of this world. It is sensational. You will love it. You guys should really start looking at the asteroids. Ceres, Juno, Vesta, and Pallas Athena. And there's just so much to learn. And if you want to learn more about the asteroids, let me know. Leave me a little comment below. And I still have a couple rising signs to do, but I'm trying to think of my next series. I was going to do the moon, but I don't know. What are your thoughts? I think you guys really liked my In Love series. Oh, I was going to do something with relationships again because it was really popular. I don't know. Leave me an idea. Leave me an idea that you think not just you would like, but what would people love, right? What would people love? Oh, you can tell I hate saying goodbye. I just love being here with you. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you are. I love to know your thoughts and feelings. And if you know about Ceres in your own chart, tell other people about it so they can learn and grow. Let's build a gorgeous community here. And I can't wait to find out who gets my lucky Aura Quartz crystal necklace. Look at that. All of them are amazing. Go check them out. They're $40 off. Bye for now. Mwah.